1-0 win, 3 points against the team that beat us in the World Cup semi-finals last time round, and for the most part, I think we should be pretty happy with that. Gareth Southgate set out to control the game, set out not to take too much risk, and we got the job done. A winning start in the tournament against a side like Croatia, because Croatia are still a respected team, the top 10 side in Europe. Kind of battle hardened in many respects, clearly tough opponents as we've found out a couple of times in recent years. So you've got to be happy with that, or most people will be happy with it. As I say, it was about control over risk, the way he set up, playing Trippier as a left back meant that his tenacity when it came to pressing, when it came to defensive organisation, when it came to cool, calm defending, allowed England to get control and to not allow Croatia to get down that side and to get in areas that perhaps in the past they might well have done. Obviously, you trade off a little bit of ability to be able to play out and open up the pitch with a natural left-sided player in that part of the pitch, but that combined with the organisation, I thought Tyrone Mings was excellent, John Stones was excellent. Yeah, I thought, to be honest, all of the defensive players were really good, really solid, really composed when they got on the ball, made great decisions. I think what for me kind of summed up England's performance, John Stones received the ball on our on our goal line pretty much to the right side of the penalty area when we were looking to play across the back with about 10 minutes to go. He would normally look to open his body out and play to the right back, try and break a line by playing into midfield in front of the penalty area, or go back to the goalkeeper. But Croatia's press was starting to get a little bit more desperate at that point, and he read the situation really well. Just looked to clip the ball and clipped it towards the sort of halfway line. It just went out of play and didn't quite catch Raheem Sterling, literally by a yard or two. But that's the kind of decision that perhaps in the past we might have looked to keep trying to play, and the quality of the game management I thought was superb yesterday. That demonstrates a more mature England team, and some people might say you've got to keep playing. 10 minutes to go, you're 1-0 up there, they're pressing you really deep in your own third of the pitch. I thought it just alleviated the pressure, allowed us to get out, allowed us to organise, and defending against a throw-in in that situation allows you as a defensive unit to be composed and not to have to deal with that transition if you lose the ball deep in your own half. So it was all about control. I thought that the midfield was really solid and well composed in terms of having Rice in front of the back four. Phillips never a million miles away from him, so he could come and play by Rice's side if we were under pressure. But the pair of them also pressed the likes of Modric, Perisic and the like. Just a little bit more their athleticism, their youth, but also their discipline meant that we denied Croatia a lot of space in key areas of the pitch, and I thought that was superb. In terms of Raheem Sterling being picked over someone like Jack Grealish, the same thing applies. You know, he might not necessarily give you as much creativity with the ball, although his pace is always an outlet. But his intelligence when he presses, his organisation when we're out of possession, and the way that he helps to control the pitch is something that he's got so good at over the years, working under Brendan Rodgers and then Guardiola. You know, he obviously got the winner, so you can't really argue with Sterling's selection. One thing that really stood out for me, Calvin Phillips was superb. He's a really well balanced midfielder, perfect for the role that Southgate picked him for yesterday. You know, probably slightly more defensive than attacking, but he's not just a one-dimensional player. His contribution for the goal was superb. That was all about being confident. That was all about being positive and taking the opportunity to release the ball at the right time. Football at the highest level is so dependent on good decision making and fine margins, and they were so close to nicking the ball away from him twice in that period of that passage of play, and yet he released the ball at the right time, but with Sterling able to run onto it and not have to take a touch or not be offside by delaying the pass. Those key moments are critical. But what I wanted to say about Phillips is that the thing that stood out for me most was his fearlessness. The guy has that exuberance of a player who's got a lot of self-belief, but isn't scarred by the issues of being an England player in camps that have been criticised over the years. He just went out and played his game. He went out and played the game he plays for Leeds. I wouldn't want to put too much pressure on him. He might not even start every game, but he made a very strong case to do that yesterday, both with the ball and without the ball. His range of passing is superb. He's got athleticism and speed to be able to drive out of tight situations. But most importantly, it's his energy, athleticism and organisation from a defensive point of view. And you'd expect that from a player who someone like Bielsa is so reliant on. He's so intelligent in the way that he presses, so intelligent in terms of denying the opponents the opportunity to play. I love his attitude, absolutely love his attitude. And I wouldn't have picked him yesterday, just to be clear. I would not have picked him. So he was really, really good. Just as Tyrone Mings was, who I have to say, I don't think he's been up to the level that he needs to be in terms of his performances for his club to play in that game yesterday. But I'm wrong. Southgate picked it perfectly. They were excellent. Him and Stones complemented each other really well. Got a really good understanding in terms of the unit-based understanding, along with Trippier on the other side of him, and I thought they were excellent. So on to the next game. I don't expect anything other than some rotation from Southgate. Gareth Southgate is a manager, an England manager who plans. Doesn't just play in the moment, doesn't just play to get 3 points or the win in that particular game. He plays for the next game, for the next game, for the next game. He's always planning ahead, always has a plan. And he set up a team to do a job yesterday in really, really hot conditions as well. I don't think you can underestimate. It was probably 27, 28 degrees out on the pitch yesterday. And the difference between that and 16, 17 degrees, which is what they're probably used to playing in England, is massive in terms of the physical output and the impact on your body. And then therefore the fatigue and the impact on decision making. So I thought he got it absolutely right. But Friday night will be different. It's a night game against the Scotland side that don't have the control and the experience at international level that Croatia do. So I think you'll see some changes. I think he'll look to get at Scotland in a controlled fashion. He's never going to go absolutely gung-ho. I think that's clear. But I expect to see some changes, and I want to see us go and do a job on Scotland, get at them. We don't want to be drawn into a game of chess that takes us to 60, 70, 80 minutes without potentially scoring. I think we want to go and basically demonstrate, we've got the attacking arsenal to go and take down a side like Scotland. They're not a top 10 side like Croatia are. And whilst they should be respected, they've got some good players. As a team, England have got nothing to fear. And the final point to make is the reason England can win this Euros is because they've got so many good players. We've got so many options in every position, and that's only improved by the quality that Phillips brought to the side on Sunday. Because in that midfield area, maybe that's an area you'd be concerned about. Likewise at centre half, those two areas are probably the areas of the pitch where I don't think we've necessarily got world class or proven world class. Maybe we have. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my assumption there is wrong, because I thought they were superb throughout, and that you've got great players to come in, the likes of Harry Maguire, likes of Jordan Henderson, obviously Grealish, we could go on. We've got Luke Shaw, Chilwell, got some superb players to come into this team. So let's see how we get on Friday night in what I expect to be a different England team with a slightly different tactical setup.